overall structure in your mind with key activities throughout it, that mainly the things the students are going to do, which is their hands-on learning. And then when you've got to that point, then you sit down and try and put it onto a piece of paper and formalise everything that you've done. Are you happy with that part so far? Now, what are we going to make this look like? Right, now we've decided we've got a good idea about what we're going to do. We've got 12 lessons. What you're going back to the task requirements again. Okay. Now, this bit here is what you need to produce. You've got to have a lesson sequence with a short description of the key concepts in each topic and learning activities you would use. Where ICT's been incorporated and the key assessment for learning tasks you would employ. Remember that it's all about the key things. I don't want any detail. Right? And then one lesson plan with documentation, just to turn one of your things into a full lesson. Pick that judiciously to make your life easy. And then a quick blurb about, now the rationale can be, you have one rationale, one explanation. That last bit is one explanation of the two things. I don't expect the theoretical basis of the two lesson sequences to be different. I'd expect them to be the same. So what I would produce at this point is a document that looked like this.
Well, it says use the rubric provided, so I assume...
Where is that?
Use the template provided to assist you in
I got
completing
a
this.
thingy yesterday from someone who said...
The link doesn't work. Is that the one?
No, it works. No, what they said was that they were having trouble using the template. There we go. Nice and simple. So the learning outcomes go there, and then the unit rationale is a quick blurb about which learning theory and how you've used it within your lesson sequence. So that's no big deal. The references I would expect will be only those coming from the unit itself. You know where we've given you the readings for cognitive load theory, constructivism, and whatever. You don't have to go doing any second-hand looking. And then there's your unit sequencing, which has got the title. I haven't got the last one. What's that middle one say?
Estimated number of lessons.
Yep. And then the bit at the back.
Principal concepts and learning activities.
Good. So what we had essentially 4 parts to it. We had the engagement phase, which was 2-3 lessons. Then we talked about the sorts of things you would do in there. Then remember, the things that you put in those multiple... If you've got 3 lessons, make sure you sequence the activities to demonstrate construction that you're building over time. We had engagement, then we had a block of about 5 or 6 lessons, which was the... You could call it whatever you like. You don't have to use the words that I'm using. It might be your theory area. And the purpose of that area is to do the more traditional approach to learning mathematics. Then we had an elaboration phase for 2 or 3 lessons, and then an evaluation reflection phase. And then you just plonk in those other 2, what you think you would do there, and that's it. I don't expect this to be a page for each section, because all you're doing is describing the idea that you're going to use and what you're doing it for. Diagrams are worth 1,000 words. And then your assessment on the end. Now, what assessment things are you going to guarantee that you include? Remember, it's assessment for learning. I can give 2 straight up that we've already talked about. One in the engage phase, right at the start. What's the purpose of that?
To work out what you might have to fill in.
Good. Identifying gaps, existing knowledge and gaps. What's another one? one up there, and then
Yeah.
one
Evaluate.
evaluate right at the end, which is a reflection, and it's about metacognition for the students, about them understanding their learning. What do I know? What do I don't know? What do I need to do to fix it up? And then you've got the body in the middle, and I'd expect in the body in the middle over a 3-week period at least one other point where you were doing something to ensure that they know. Where's the obvious place to put it? Remember, we had that initial engage phase, and we've got some assessment in there. We then had a learning theory type section. Then we had an elaborate. And then the evaluate at the end. Where's another place you would put a assessment for learning before you let them loose in this process? Where else are you letting them loose? Dominic, what's going to happen in that elaborate phase? I would argue at the end of all of this theory work that you take a bit of time just in there to have a bit of a look at, well, these were the things I was trying to get across, did they get them, before you let them loose in the elaborate phase. And the reason is, if you let them loose in some application thing here and they aren't prepared for it, what's going to happen?
It'll all just go out the window.
Yeah, it'll all just go pear-shaped. What it might mean is if you do a quick evaluate process at the end of all of your theory section, what you'll often do is you'll adapt your elaborate activity to make sure that the different people at the different level can actually cope with it. So there's 3 different points at least that I would put it over a 3-week period. And that's basically the whole assignment. Does that sort of make sense? Any questions? You're happy to get going on it
Next week.
next week? You right with it? Catherine, we've had our just conversations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I found it.
Oh, good. Now the reason